Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22. Got another letter. April 11th, one day before my birthday of last year. Still in Albion. Freshly opened. Oh my god, 4 pages. Horrible human being, Luke. All right, gang, so here's another reading of a Luke Winky letter. Hello again, Life22 viewers. Due to all of the borderline perjury taking place in my case right now between all parties involved, specifically Luke. He doesn't say that, but I'm pretty sure he meant specifically Luke. I believe we are wrapping things up for the greater good. We are coming up with good deals for Olean, courtesy the federal government. You forgot an of. The mayor and his legislative branch equal have also been sent a letter containing details over these matters. Frank Passifum and Fonda Kubiak are looking forward to their new incoming federal litigation office in Ellicottville. It will be called 716 Feds. And that was in quotes and looks like written over top of what he wrote with in either a Sharpie or he just wrote over it again. By the way, their names were underlined. Frank Passifum and Fonda Kubiak, this time they weren't, will absolutely be capable of, and this part is underlined, paying Kevin Doherty work crew money, good money, that was underlined, through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to refurbish this new incoming Ellicottville office. If labor demands are tight these days, then maybe we can include Snitty McGetadon. And then in parentheses, then he wrote something and then he scribbled it out. As well, if he is willing to get over his prior fascination of cryptocurrency. John Nelson of the Nelson Law Firm of Ellicottville closed up shop during COVID so he could DJ in England. So Frank Passifum and Fonda Kubiak, new federal litigation, private him 716 Feds, in parentheses, is definitively long overdue. They are federal public defenders at the moment, so they are wrapping up their final work in the court at the moment before moving up as private federal litigation in Ellicottville. We are fully capable of paying a year's worth of rent for them in exchange for VIP priority service. It has also been discussed by many people privately and through statements in court that 716 Feds, in quotes, will be fully capable of, and now underlined, contracting the U.S. Space Force into Siemens Dresser Rand of Olean, underlined ceases. We have already picked out homegrown Olean native John Crawford's known to be Vice President Satellite Repairs and Manufacturing Operations. Oh, who John Crawford knows to be the vice president. Okay. This person has also met Frank Passifum, already jobless Olean residents like Jordan Crody will soon have his job back at Siemens Dresser Rand, thanks to the work we are about to pursue at 716 Feds, in quotes. Another good deal coming to Olean through Frank Passifum and Fonda Kubiak, eventually, or their event, Kubiak's eventual Ellicottville private firm, mostly focuses on Dr. Barry Broughton's AKT Robert Allen Brewer of what was once remembered as Brewer's Martial Arts, and anybody they chose to work for them. We expert Ryan Patrick Gary of Minneapolis to be opening a satellite office by Siemens Dresser Rand, run by Archbishop Walsh alum Kellen Dwyer, in parentheses, currently a Pentagon legal secretary, close parentheses, and Olean area prosecutor's assistant Melissa Ensel, 716 Feds, not in parentheses this time, or not in quotes this time, will be busy doing countless projects for Olean and Cattaraugus County, so Ryan Gary's satellite office will need Robert Albert Brewer and Dr. Barry Broughton to form a team to help design the Twist Step Act classes for the federal prison violent offenders to learn self-discipline and channel their energy into punching bags, as opposed to people. Violent offenders and sex offenders do not currently qualify for Twist Step Act credits, and that is a violation of the equal protection under the law, as Ryan Gary's office will need this help. We'll need the help of the Olean area martial arts community once we network everyone accordingly. Ryan Gary's Hamburg area employee Katie Valentine is no stranger, as the Olean area underlined Kevin Doherty's work crew and Snitty McGetadone too, stopped underline, will have plenty of help from 716 Feds, getting even more housing and urban development money, fixing up an Olean city-owned blighted house of Katie's choosing so she can live there and inevitably run. Page 3. The Olean Stray Cat Society. Katie needs to be within walking distance to her employer, Ryan Gary, so this is the way to solve that problem too. Tulty's security guard, Pat Sheehy, was once with Katie Valentine as they both met at Brewer's Martial Arts. Thank you to Kevin Bartholomew for writing a letter to this judge for me in 2022. 716 Feds will be introduced to his longtime friend from Buffalo Bowling League, Carl Palladino, to build a massive federal halfway house complex for sex offenders in Ellicottville so they can all work at Holiday Valley. The U.S. Bureau of Prisons has a shortage of federal halfway houses for sex offenders. So the court has moved in these find settlement negotiations that Ellicottville is in the perfect place for people like that, since tourists in Ellicottville from out of the area aren't Google searching what their ski lift operator's name is or what they did 20 years ago. So, my CCA cellmate, Ken Ritchie, will finally have a place to go. This part is underlined. So there's even more paid work coming for Kevin Doherty and friends. Luke through 716 Feds. A lot of people in my court situation are talking about how excited John Sinatra is to help bring a pope to St. John's and St. Mary's churches. A pope only has so much time in his busy schedule, so it is up to Olean to decide if John Sinatra should help bring a pope to St. Mary's Festival or St. John's Italian Festival. No matter which festival is picked by Olean, people are saying John Sinatra will absolutely make a pope appear to serve as both churches as long as he is given a speaking slot at both churches as well. That is not happening, Luke. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. My brain hurts. First off, and you keep saying a pope, like there's a pile of popes to pick from. Like there is one pope. When that pope dies, they get a new pope. Like the Dalai Lama, there is one pope. And John Sinatra, the judge, is not going out of the Vatican, pulling him out of the... Well, now he's in the hospital. Hopefully people are supporting the town of Olean volunteer firefighters. Page 4. We are almost out of the woods here, folks. By going to the 1980s restaurant on Broad Street in Salamanca. How is that? I don't understand how that's helping. Just because somebody is a volunteer firefighter does not mean that, unless the restaurant specifically is donating to the volunteer firefighters. It is owned by Jeff Bish of the town of Olean volunteer firefighters. Awful lot of fires in Olean lately, I heard. The promise for a better 24/7 public transportation in between Olean and Salamanca also remains intact, thanks to 716 Feds and the U.S. Department of Transportation. I have already talked with that member of the Salamanca Planning Board, Michael Crick, about this and given his phone number out accordingly. People like Amos Krause can bum off people only for so much longer. Down 2 paragraphs, folks. I'm like dying over here. Is only an area resident Ernie Bergstrom still out there posing as an anti-Semitic public safety threat? The Winkyville reunion is a stalemate because of people like Ernie. 716 Feds can help the owner of Winkyville land outside Portville secede over as a public lands with a U.S. post office zip code if he accepts. Nobody plans on going to Winkyville ever again if it's not easy for Jason Baum of the Cattaraugus County Police to come out to the property in case Ernie Bergstrom of Olean's anti-Semitic public safety threats happen. Plenty of mental health assessments and public safety assessments done on me. I am fine. Jay Onsavich from U.S. Appeals will eventually help me with the process of overturning this, placing the situation like mine with an interstate order of protection. His handwriting is atrocious. Program through Homeland Security. Don't forget, the Prophet Muhammad talked about Jesus more than himself. Luke Winkie, permanently former county Libertarian chairman. Well, folks, hope that got your blood pumping for the weekend. Thanks for listening. We will catch you next time on Life22.